All right, y'all. Here we go again. Let me know if you can hear me. Had to go ahead and get on here and do a live stream and talk about some of these fights that took place this past weekend. Of course, going back to Friday, you know, of course, I'll probably jump back on at 7, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna get on here and talk about LFA and Bellator, man, because we had some good fights. Overall had some good cards. So let's get into it here in a minute. Because I want to go back to LFA 118, talk about a couple of WMMA fights on that card. Then, of course, we'll go to Bellator 275. Definitely got to talk about this championship fight, man. The main event, LFA 118, for sure. Yes, sir. All right. So give me 1 second. We'll get started here in a minute. Making sure this connection is fine. All right, y'all, hold on. Let's see. We're going to get in here. Get into this thing. Hold on 1 second. Okay, y'all. Sounds good. All right, y'all. So welcome back. Welcome back to another live stream. Like I said, I just want to do a quick post-fight discussion stream of Friday night's fights, LFA 118 and Bellator 275. So yeah, man, LFA 118. I was looking. Excuse me. I keep saying 118. I mean, is it 118 or was it 125? Let me see here. Hold on real quick because I was looking at. Of course, I was looking at this on Fight Pass, and the way they had it labeled when I would click on it to watch the stream, it kept saying 118. But yeah, it's 125. That's what kept throwing me off. But yeah, y'all, let's talk this post fight card. Let's talk some post fights for LFA 125. Of course, the main event, Jacqueline Amorim versus Elizabeth Young. But first, let's talk about Ashley Nichols and Hillary Rose real quick. Ashley Nichols, she's been out for like over 4 years. I've seen some of her Muay Thai fights before, and then she just kind of disappeared from the scene. But she hit the scene this past Friday after 4 years out the game. Came away with a unanimous decision win over Hillary Rose. I thought the fight was a lot closer than the judges had it. I know the judges had it like 30-27 twice for Ashley Nichols, but I thought Hillary Rose, she did some effective things in there, that at least got her around or two, or, got her around, and then one round could have swung her way. The first round in this fight with Nichols and Rose, I thought it was close. From a range, they both were kind of showing each other a lot of respect, but I thought Nichols was landing more kicks to the body and landing more strikes. It wasn't until Nichols closed the distance that she really started getting some good elbows off and some work inside. But I thought, Rose, she did enough to win that first round. Now, the second round, that's where Ashley Nichols, she started to come on stronger and land more shots, land more right hands and low kicks. And she started to, take full advantage, her Muay Thai, clinching and then, closing around with the takedown. So she did win that second round. But the third round, Rose had got I think it was Ashley Nichols got a takedown. And Rose, she's the one that actually kind of turned it into her favor. She tried to go in for an armbar attempt, but Ashley Nichols, she was able to break out of that armbar attempt, get good top control. Rose, she went in for another like a leg triangle attempt. She was the one on her back trying to get these submission attempts, but they were looking at Ashley Nichols and her overall, control on the ground of just keeping Hillary Rose pinning her back. But when they got back to the feet, Ashley Nichols, she did come on stronger. Her clinch game was a bit more effective. So yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I just didn't see it as a 30-27 fight. I didn't think it was like a clear shutout. It just kind of seemed like the judges were more in favor of Ashley Nichols, kind of her story of coming back, But overall it was a close fight. Yeah, shout out to Ashley Nichols. Like I said, she kind of just disappeared off the Muay Thai scene and she went out the game, for like 4 years, and I haven't seen her in a minute. So, it's good to see her back in there. But I think Hillary Rose, she just has a few more things to work on. Like, she does take chances with her kickboxing. She's known as a ground fighter, but I think she just needs to go in there and commit more and, pressure, use pressure, and, get in there and get that work in, because I think there were some good moments where she could have just taken Ashley Nichols down and, capitalized, right? So, yeah, man, that was a, good fight, good comeback fight for Ashley Nichols. But let's talk about the main event here, man. Amorim, Jacqueline Amorim versus Loveth Young. First of all, shout out to both of these strawweights. Shout out to both of these ladies. They were able to headline a card. That's what I like to see. Two solid fighters. In WMMA headlining a card like this. Championship belt on the line. This is something that Loveth Young has been pushing for a minute. The first time the fight got canceled, Loveth Young, she's been working her way up. So is Amorim. Amorim's undefeated as well. Well, Loveth Young, she has one loss, but it's kind of a controversial loss. But overall, she's been pretty much looking like a powerhouse. Loveth Young has, but Amorim has as well. Amorim, she's a finisher on the ground. She's a black belt. I went back and looked at some of her old footage, and I was like, yo, this girl has skills. And even in her last fight out, she showed some good stand-up game. Jacqueline Amorim got hands. She's got developing hands. And like I said, even as a grappler, you need some type of fundamentals in boxing and striking. You got to have hands. And she showed that in her last fight out, where she got like a 19-second KO in the first round, fastest KO in LFA for women, I think, So Amorim showed she had some hands. But going into this fight, I figured that this was going to be striker versus grappler. I think overall, Loveth Young, she had the better kickboxing, and the stand-up was going to favor her. And I knew for a fact, like, okay, if she keeps it standing and she can get her overhand right in, and she can just establish a jab and some good calf kicks, she could probably win this fight. All right. But like I said in my video the other day, live stream, I said, okay, if Jacqueline Amorim gets this fight to the ground, it's pretty much going to be her fight, and it's going to be over. I could just see it in that fashion, like almost like Mackenzie Dern style fashion on this level. Like when Mackenzie Dern gets you down, it's a wrap. That's how quick I think she is on the ground and how good she is on her level. Like her, Tabitha Ricci, in those lower levels like this, when they get you to the ground, they will submit you. And that's what Jacqueline Amorim did. She saw an opening here. She got her lock on that leg and that knee of Loveth Young. When Loveth Young just left the legs wide open, she was on her back, but she grabbed that leg, weathered a few hammer fists, got Loveth Young down, locked on that knee. She was not letting that knee bar go. At first, I thought she was going for a heel hook, but she just locked on and twisted it until Loveth Young couldn't, escape, and she had to tap, But I mean, right from the jump in this round, I could see a little cagey energy there, a little nervous energy from Loveth Young, because Amorim in the first round actually showed some nice balance. She was showing some nice balance. She was able to throw out some kicks to find her range. Like she was actually kind of backing Loveth Young up here. Like Loveth Young didn't put the pressure on. Loveth Young didn't try to put the pressure on and attack those legs early. She got put on the back foot early, by Amorim, because Amorim was throwing them kicks out, finding that range. She was making her think she was going to strike with it. So like Loveth Young is backing up towards the cage. Amorim, she quickly switches levels here. And that's what you have to do if you want to be well-rounded. You got to throw fighters off with your hands. And then after that, switch levels. And she locked on with that body lock on Loveth Young. Almost got the takedown, but Loveth Young grabbed the cage. She literally grabbed the cage with both hands. It wasn't just like a mistake with one hand where the ref got to tell you to get off. No, she literally stopped the takedown because her feet were off the ground and her hands were locked into the cage. So that cost her a point. And I was already like, oh boy, I was like, oh no, it's going to be one of them type of fights. Cause the minute she started doing something wrong, they're going to be penalizing points here. So Love had to be on her game. And I think it was just a lot of nervous energy in there, watching her in that first round. Like she wanted to fight a perfect fight, and she was already thrown off like as soon as she was about to get taken down. And I think when she was going to get taken down, she knew it was going to Amorim's favor. So she sacrificed and said, like, I got to grab the cage, So she got a point taken right away. And I think that kind of amped her up because once she got that point taken, she started to come on a little bit stronger. She grabbed one of those kick attempts from Amorim, took Amorim, tripped up Amorim, landed some good hammer fists, and you can see the power, the effect that it had on Amorim's eye, had that eye swollen. But while she was landing those hammer fists with the open leg, just wide open, Amorim, like I said, she snatched up that free leg, that right leg, took Loveth Young down. Loveth was kind of in panic mode. Loveth tried to go for a heel hook herself, but she just didn't have those quick transitions, no fundamentals like Amorim. So Amorim locked it in, started twisting, and I was like, oh no, it's over here, because she started to panic to it. She was trying to reach for it. She just didn't know how to slide out, and boom, Amorim made her tap. So I was like, oh man, I kind of saw this coming. Like I said, if it goes to the ground, it was going to be Amorim's fight all the way. So yeah, shout out to Jacqueline Amorim. She went in there, showcased her skills, showed that hunger and that composure and some well-roundedness, in the opening few minutes of the round, so she earned that LFA strap. So hopefully, Loveth Young, she can go back to the drawing board and work here, because right now it's still looking like she's not comfortable on the ground, or she's not comfortable going, in inside quarters like that, and trying to grapple. She's a physically strong fighter. That's something she has to work on. She needs to use that to her advantage. She's jacked. She has power in both hands. She has to start working with that, low center of gravity that she has, like Jessica Andrade. You come in there like a powerhouse, you got to start fighting with that type of frame. Loveth Young, I know she wants to strike, but you always can't strike with these type of fighters, especially if you are coming in as the shorter fighter sometimes. Yeah, you can come in with the overhand rights and use that power, but eventually you're going to meet a long fighter that can outstrike you. So again, that's why I always say well-roundedness is important. You got to be well-rounded, because if not, you're going to get stuck on the outside. You're just going to resort to, fighting behind another fighter and losing, if you only have one playing. So I think Loveth Young got to work on that grappling. She got to work on her wrestling. She's like I said, one of those little tanks like Josiane Nunes and Jessica Andrade. Use that to your advantage. Got to become a pocket fighter, because the taller, longer strikers out there that know how to use their reach, they'll keep you on the outside. And eventually, yeah, even the jiu-jitsu practitioner that can get you down, you'll drown, right? So yeah, man, I think Loveth Young will be back though. I think she'll fight a couple more fights in LFA, get another title shot. She'll fight her way back up. We'll see about Jacqueline Amorim. Hope she defends her title a few times before trying to jump into the UFC, because, the UFC level, that's still different. That's still a different level. So hopefully they don't try to rush Amorim into the UFC like they did some of these other strawweights, But yeah, man, what next on this card? Let's see. We had, that was it on this card. LFA turned out to be a good card, even, the men's fights. But let's talk Bellator 275 here real quick. Stephanie Page versus Danny McCormick. Now, I was looking forward to this fight here, man, because I was like, okay, this one here is going to be a banger. Because first off, Stephanie Page, I've seen a few of her fights, very good technical striker. She's a sharp shooter. She's a Muay Thai fighter. She definitely has hands, got power. Danny McCormick, I've been following her. I'm a fan of her. I've talked about her a few times on this channel, did some breakdowns of her fights. And like I said, she's a banger. She's an exciting fighter. I never really said she was like the best technically sharp fighter, but she definitely got the guts. She'll go in there and work, and putting these two type of styles together. I knew somebody was going to get stopped, but I had to lean towards Page winning this by stoppage, because Stephanie Page has more technique. She has more skill. Like I said, I'm a Danny fan. She likes to bang, but she'll go in there and trade and leave her chin open. Paige is a technician. She's sharp in her She was sharp in her last fight. She fought at a high weight, fought a bigger fighter at like 130, 135, but she still held her own. She still held her own even though she lost, and she showed some good skill in that fight. And she showed the skill in this one right away. I mean, bell rung, Paige was sharp. She was sharp as McCormick ran in. She tagged Danny right away with one right hand, dropping her. Danny got back up, only to get dropped again. And Danny, she showed that toughness by getting back up, and staying in the fight, or just staying in there. But Paige, she started teeing off on the inside and on the outside. I mean, Danny, she was trying to strike from the outside, but that was a mistake, because Paige, she was just too quick. She was just too quick. And, she was ripping her with those right hands and lefts, working on the inside, just really, just beating her up for like one more minute until finally the ref stepped in whenever she was just getting wailed on in the inside, on the cage again. So, the ref, he had to step in. So that was a fair stoppage, because Paige, like I said, she's not really just coming in there to bang. She's landing to knock you out, and she's a counter puncher as well. Danny, she likes to trade in there. Sometimes her shots won't have the most steam on them. It's just, enough to try to go in there and put on that exciting fight. She just needs to work on that timing and defense for her. Got to work on keeping them hands up. So yeah, that was a good that was definitely a highlight finish on Bellator's card. So shout out to Stephanie Page. But yeah, Danny, of course, she'll be back. I think, she just has a lot to work on. And as the competition steps up, you can't go in leading with your face like that, right? Last fight on this card, though, that I want to talk about, the co-main event, right? Was this a co-main event? Was it the third fight? That was a co-main event, right? Yeah, yeah. This one actually turned out to be good, man. I was I ain't gonna lie, I was leaning towards Sinead Kavanagh in this fight, though. Hang on here, let me see. Let me pull this up here. What's that? The next fight? Hold on, y'all. Is that the one fight I wanted to talk about? It is. Just 1 second here, y'all. MMA fight on the card. But yeah, shout out to Sinead Kavanagh. I mean, this girl showed some grit, man. She went in there and fought. Like, she went in there and showed a dog in her, man. I mean, she was in there fighting off a hurt knee in that second round. I mean, she just showed you, look, how important it is. Again, this is why I say being well rounded and just having, a plan B, a second skill is very important to fight. It's very important because if you don't have that skill, if you just dependent on your hands, right? If you just dependent on your hands and your legs go and you don't know how to wrestle, then you pretty much lost the fight, right? You pretty much lost the fight. But Sinead Kavanagh, she definitely showed her skill set here. Um, you know what? While I'm doing this stream, I just pulled up YouTube here. I Yeah, I didn't even know y'all had some comments in here, man. Because when I'm doing on StreamYard, it's not showing the comments. So let me go up on YouTube. Yeah, shout out to Lafayette's up in here, George, Marcus, Mark 23. Who else is in here? Ernest Richardson, Jay from 35th. What's going on, y'all? Yeah, I didn't even know, man. Like, comments ain't showing up on StreamYard while I'm up here talking, so I had to pull it up on YouTube. Hold on, let me see. Jay said, I don't know why Bellator thinks it's a good idea to do Cyborg versus Kavanagh too. Yeah, I mean, this was a good fight now on this level, but yeah, she's not ready for Cyborg at all, bro. Like, no, like, I mean, Scott Coker announced it right away. He was like, yo, she fighting Cyborg again. I was like, what? Honestly, I mean, Arlene Blenko lasted longer, so I would put Arlene Blenko in there first, but yeah, they announced that thing like that. Sinead probably was like, hold on now. I got to have surgery, right? Ernest said, McCourt needs to find a different job. Ernest said, Amorim be looking edible. Oh, boy, crazy. UFC going to grab her with the quick. Yeah, they better not, though, man. They better not. Amorim got work to do. It's not time yet. She just won the belt. Yeah, George. Love should have kept the fight standing, but I would have. Yeah, she should have kept it standing. She should have kept it standing. Sorry, yeah. But not at a range. I think she should have been in there. Mixing it up, outside, inside. Loveth got that frame. Not like Andrade specifically, but she could have been using her frame in there to get that work in. You know what I mean? Like Andrade style, like Josiane Nunes. When you short, you built like a tank. You got to press forward. You know what I mean? You really have to press forward. But yeah, that was yeah, that was a disappointment, man. That was really a disappointment. But yeah, let's talk about this fight here real quick. I just wanted to quote him comments up because I didn't see him coming through on StreamYard. StreamYard acting weird, man. But yeah, y'all, Kavanagh, McCourt turned out to be a good fight. I picked Sinead Kavanagh. I was definitely picking money. I was picking on the money this time around. Uh, Sinead Kavanagh, I just feel like she had more grit, she had more strength, and she had more skills here. Like Leah McCourt, definitely a dangerous fighter on the ground, but she's kind of like those fighters like Misha Tate and even more like those Montana De La Rosa, where I think they're good on the ground all day long, but if they can't get you to the ground, they really have nothing else to depend on. Like Leah McCourt doesn't really have hands. Like she tries, I give her that. She'll try, but she just doesn't really have like the technique or the power to, even hurt you with her stand up, So that's one thing she lacks. But even on the ground here, Sinead O'Connor, she was not Sinead O'Connor. I said Sinead O'Connor. Sinead Kavanagh showed better ground game here. She showed better ground game here. So that shows you that Leah McCourt still got a lot of work to do, man. I mean, like the first round, McCourt, she gets the takedown. She's controlling the top position, right? She's trying to get that work in, working them elbows. But Kavanagh, I thought she was still dangerous. She was able to actually get that reverse and get the top position. And she was locking in that Kimura. I mean, shout out to McCourt. She was able to survive it. She never panicked, but she was locked in that position for a while, for like a minute. She was able to slip out of that Kimura attempt from Kavanagh. I mean, when they got back up, Kavanagh, she did stun McCourt with a good right hand. And like I said, it was a close round, but I thought Kavanagh showed her own jiu-jitsu and her own defense on the ground. And again, like I said, the hands was just better. So I think she still edged that first round. But the second round, as soon as it opened up, Kavanagh slipped, kind of like Macy Barber. Like, how Macy Barber hurt her knee in the very beginning of the round. Kavanagh, she slipped in that opening. And right away, she went on the inside, started clinching up. And I saw why, because that knee buckled. Right away, you can see how her knee buckled. And she did her best to stay in close because she knew that if she separated, she probably would have just fell down and she would have been fair game. Like she would have been ripped apart. She was keeping that in her mind. So she said, okay, my knees hurt. I got to stay inside. I got to clinch and pressure McCourt. So in the inside, she was landing heavy shots. McCourt, she did that little sneaky trip, though. She got a little sneaky trip on Kavanagh. Actually, she did that. She got that trip, but I'm just kind of looking at the footage now again. But Kavanagh, she got the best. I think she got the best of it. She got the best of it because she wrestled well in there. She got McCourt down, landed some big hammer fists. I mean, McCourt, she was able to get back up, and she was trying to work that knee. She was trying to work that knee of Kavanagh, but I think that Kavanagh still won that round. I still think she won that round. Even going back into the last round, Kavanagh, she was fighting on the knee. She was fighting smart. She said, okay, I got to get on the inside. She stayed out, went outside a little bit because Kavanagh started tagging her. But McCourt, she just has that lack of striking IQ. She didn't know how to capitalize. So once again, Kavanagh, she used that pressure, takes that pressure to her to try to get that, get that adjustment in because, she wanted to take some pressure off of her knee and just really was trying to get that work in on the inside. But I think McCourt, when she got it back down to the ground, she got in better control in the half guard. And then she got that full mount with Kavanagh. I think she survived it. McCourt kept top control a little bit longer. She got in some work, tried to lock in a leg lock, but Kavanagh showed heart. She was able to reverse in the round on top. So I would give Leah McCourt that last round, if any. So I would say it's about 2-1 for Sinead Kavanagh. Sinead Kavanagh, she definitely, clearly won the second round, even off a bum knee. But going back and looking at that first round, I think, she did better as well on the ground. So, yeah, Sinead Kavanagh definitely won the fight. But I've always said that Leah McCourt needed work to do. Even going all the way back to, like I said, when she fought Manon Firo, I just didn't really see like something. There was something that she was already lacking even early on. Like, I don't know if it was a killer instinct or just something about her skill set. It just wasn't like up to par. I know that was like her first couple fights early on, but even like when I seen Janae Harding fight her, I said, okay, she got a She slipped in an up kick on Janae Harding, got that. Okay, she got that win. But I was like, man, the more and more she steps up against these featherweights like Sinead Kavanagh, even Pam Bam, or even like Arlene Blinko, they're going to work her. They're going to work her. But Sinead, she got to her first and, showed she had better wrestling and just overall more dog. So I think Leah McCourt at number 4 better fight down. She ain't ready for a Chris Cyborg fight. I mean, she probably going to fall back down now, but I don't see her ready for a Chris Cyborg fight anytime soon. Marcus said Leah McCourt is Montana's body double. Dang. Yeah, she's very similar. Like, I was looking at the body frame and just the approach she was taking. I was like, she kind of reminds me of Montana. Like, she wanted to get these fights down to the ground, just the way her stance is. And she wants to get in there and get that work in, like on the ground, not really comfortable on her feet. Very reminiscent of Montana, but we'll see where she goes from here, man. I just think she's got a lot of work to do on her feet, in her striking, But yeah, shout out to Sinead Kavanagh. She got it in, man. Like I said, that was impressive fighting off that knee. I mean, it kind of shows you, man, what you can get done if you really want it. I mean, maybe her tear wasn't as bad as Macy Barber's. Maybe Macy just didn't. I don't know. Everybody's different, so I can't compare the two, I guess. I mean, Macy Barber, she was just in there with a different type of fighter, I guess, that kept her down and let. Maybe she just didn't have the mindset to put the pressure on like Kavanagh did, right? I mean, styles make fights. That's just me. From here, I don't know why they announced that Cyborg Kavanagh too. I mean, that's still early to tell. I mean, that girl got to have surgery probably, right? I mean, Kavanagh probably got to have surgery. So Cyborg has 2 more fights on her contract. So who do you think is going to be Kat and Kavanagh? But Cyborg wants to come back in April, and I don't think Kavanagh going to be ready in those 2 months. So, or a month and a half or whatever for training and take her on. So Cyborg probably going to come back and fight Arlene in April. I'm just guessing. And then in this contract in the summer against Kat Zingano, if Kat Zingano wants it. That's just my thoughts on that. George said Kavanagh should fight Arlene. Let's see. I mean, that's not a bad fight. I think Kat Zingano should be fighting one of them two. Actually, in my opinion, Kat should have been fighting one of these two, like, from the jump. Kat should have been in there with Pam from the jump. She should have been in there with Kavanagh, Janae Harding, or Arlene Blinko. George said Leah should have fought either Leslie Smith or the last chick that fought Julia Budd. Yeah. Leah McCourt should have fought Leslie Smith or somebody. That would have been good. Yeah, she still got work to do, though. I think. I mean, Leah McCourt, I don't think she'll ever be ready for Chris Cyborg's level. Not the way Chris is just improving and advanced. But I mean, who is in that division, right? Who really is, though? So yeah, man. Like I said, I just want to get back on here and talk about these fights today. Because I want to talk a little bit later about the UFC fights tonight. We're going to talk about this Jocelyn Nunes and Ramona Pascal fight later on tonight. And some other things, too. Jay from 35th said, man, hold on now. Okay, there we go. Jay from 35th said, I said Leah McCourt versus Leslie Smith, Janae Harding versus Diana Silva, and get the Arlene rematch out the way for Kat before Cyborg since Kat's ducking. Yeah. yeah. I agree with that. Leah McCourt got to fight down. So yeah, let's put Leah McCourt in there with Leslie Smith. I'd actually have Leslie Smith winning that fight. Janae Harding, Diana Silva, that's good. Diana Silva was actually fighting a good fight against Arlene Blinko a while back, right? She actually had a pretty good fight with her, I think. But yeah, that'd be a good fight. Janae Harding, I saw her on IG. She's waiting to fight. And yeah, I think the rematch with Chris is better for Arlene. Like Sinead Kavanagh, I don't know. I don't even know if she wants that. Like Scott Coker spoke up for her. I mean, she was getting carried out the ring by Conor McGregor, right? So she didn't even get a chance to really. I mean, she did talk, but she didn't really mention it, right? And did I miss that? I didn't hear Sinead Kavanagh, call out Chris again. I heard Scott say it. It was reported by the commentators, but I didn't hear it. But I'd rather Arlene Blencowe get the rematch since, she did last a little bit longer. Do Arlene Blencowe, and then in the summertime, give Kat Zingano to Chris Cyborg if she wants it by then. Even though I don't really, like I said, I don't really care that fight. George said they need to make a 135 in Bellator for the ladies. I think Leah and Jessica Boer would be better in that division. Yeah, I think so. Probably because Leah McCourt early on in her career was fighting at like 138, like 138, 135. Like Leah McCourt and Manon Fiorot, when they fought early on, like 3-4 years ago, Leah McCourt was actually at 138 or 135. Maybe she need to be at 135. Because I don't know, man. Like Sinead Kavanagh was a little bit shorter, but she, of course, height don't make a difference, but she just looked like the bigger, stronger fighter in there to me. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's about all I got, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat come through for this afternoon stream. Like I said, I just wanted to talk. Final thoughts. I mean, like, Loveth Young just gotta go back to the drawing board, man, and kind of work on that ground game, man, and just work on pulling that trigger early. You got to go in there and be dominant. I just think she let Jacqueline Amorim lead the fight, even with the striking in the beginning. I think Loveth, she had to go in there and she got to go in there and be more like Andrade a little bit. I mean, she still got to use her technique, but got to go in there and press forward. Got to go in there, press forward, and work on that takedown defense and ground game, man, for sure. As for Sinead Kavanagh, let her heal up, man. I'd rather just give that fight to Arlene Blencowe, right? Just let Arlene Blencowe get that fight. But yeah, we'll be back on at 7 o'clock. We'll talk about the UFC fights tonight and some other things that's going on in the UFC, of course. We'll do the regular stream tonight. Just wanted to get these fights out of the way, y'all. So if you missed the stream, because StreamYard be acting crazy too. It was just I'm not really seeing a lot of the comments here. It's weird. Like I had to pull up YouTube to look at these comments because it's not coming up on my StreamYard. So make sure y'all hit the like button so you do get a notification. And if you missed the stream, just go back and watch. Put your comments in the comment section, and we'll talk later on tonight or this evening. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.